Hi guys, I'm going to be doing something a little different today. I'm in my kitchen. I'm actually about to be making some Valentine cookies for my boys' class, and so I was going to go ahead and video how I do the cookies, how I do the frosting. I'm going to make royal icing, so it's a little different, and it's actually a little bit, it's really actually easy. It just takes a lot more time because you have to kind of do all these different steps, but Go get a ladder. But my kids are gonna be in it and we're gonna have fun. Hopefully they won't be too whiny and crazy, but should be fun. Okay, so we're gonna start by I followed this recipe that I found actually online through other YouTubers. And so yeah, we're gonna follow, we're gonna make the cookies first.
Yeah.
We're gonna cream together the butter and the sugar. So it's 1 cup of butter, and we're gonna do 1.5 cups of sugar. I'm gonna put it in there, we'll cream it together, and then we'll start adding our other ingredients. So I just did the 1 cup of butter. I'm gonna add in the 1.5 cups sugar. You can see our butter and our sugar are creaming together nicely. We're mixing it up, right? And once that mixes, you need to probably turn it down a little bit. All right. So now we have our butter and sugar are mixing. We're gonna add 1 egg at a time. The recipe calls for 3 eggs. This is not.
And then someone.
Oh, thank you, Leo. Leo's helping. Thanks, buddy. So we're gonna need 2 more eggs, and I actually am having my husband run out to the neighbors because I didn't realize we were out of eggs. All right, so now we're gonna start mixing our eggs into our batter. I don't know how I left it off, but I didn't have 2 eggs. I only had 1. So our neighbor just came to the rescue and let me borrow 2 eggs. So we're gonna mix 1 egg at a time as we, our butter and sugar cream together, and then you put your eggs in 1 at a time, and it's 3 eggs. And then after that, we're gonna let that cream together. While this creams together, I already added a little bit of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm gonna mix together in a bowl my baking soda, flour, and what else? Salt. So I'm gonna do that, and then mix that into this, and then let it form a dough, and then we'll start to roll that dough out and form our cookies. We're gonna do heart shapes. All right, so I've mixed together our flour and our baking soda. Our flour and our soda and our salt. And I'm gonna mix that. I'm gonna pour that flour mixture slowly into our butter and sugar mixture. I'm just gonna mix that together slowly. And let me get the camera so I can try to show you guys what it looks like. So it's just like a good doughy. We'll keep going. You can even see that. We'll keep going and let it get to a good texture. Now this recipe calls for 4 teaspoons of baking powder, which seems like a lot. But I got this recipe from another YouTuber who makes like the most amazing cookies ever. So I trust that. And I've made these before. I made these at Christmas time, and they were really good. And I think that helps them to bake and make it really even so they don't spread too much, you know? I wanted to say as it's mixing, it kind of can start to get thick. You can use like your spatula and just kind of go around the edges of your bowl and make sure you're pushing down all that dough to keep it, to make sure all that flour and everything is getting in your dough evenly. Do that. Yeah, you can have a lick. All right, so now we're gonna start rolling out our dough onto our counter. And I'm gonna take some flour and I'm gonna kind of sprinkle it all in the area that we're gonna roll it. And spread it out. I don't know if you guys can even see this. Let me back up the camera a little bit. You can see I have a terrible angle.
Okay.
Spread out this dough. And then what we're gonna do, all right, so now I'm gonna start by taking a good bit of dough in my hands, like probably like a good size like that.
Can I help you?
Yes, I want you to grab me the rolling pin. We're gonna roll it in our flour.
Can I help?
Take our rolling pin, and I have a Christmas rolling pin. And I'm just gonna roll it out good. Hey, I know what you can do, Hendrix. Would you grab me our heart thing? Oh, you want to make sure your rolling pin has also been rolled in flour, or see what'll happen. And this is what happens to me all the time. So it'll sometimes stick. So you can just wrap it back up. And if you feel like your dough is a little too sticky, you can actually add a little more flour to it. Not too much, because you don't want your dough to taste like flour, but, and I like to roll it out, and you can, there's a tool you can actually measure your dough to make sure it's like the proper width, but, all right, yep, now put the heart on, so then you put it down and press it, see, and then you just get your shapes, and you do all over, and once you have your shape,
and if you don't,
your hearts,
your
you put it on your, yeah, they'll break if it's too thin, he's right. And then we're gonna put all of our hearts onto our, we're gonna get parchment paper and line our cookie sheets. And we'll lay all of our hearts on our cookie sheets and then bake them for about 10 minutes. I say 8 to 10, depends on your oven.
And then we put frosting on them.
That's later, that's for later. We're gonna make all the cookies first, and then you let them cool, and then we'll decorate. So we will catch you guys back once we've baked all of our cookies. So far, these are the first batch we're gonna put in the oven.
Yeah.
They make pretty good, this cookie cutter I have makes pretty good size hearts. Dough out. You really want it pretty even. And make sure you get a lot of, I almost said powder, flour on this to make sure it doesn't stick. That's it. So once your cookies come out of the oven, they cook for about 9 minutes. You want to let them cool completely. You can use a drying rack. I just let mine sit kind of on the counter. And then once they're cooled, you can start decorating. Now, the next step we're gonna do is we're gonna start making our royal icing. That's just a combination of meringue powder, which is like an egg white powder you can buy. I buy mine at Hobby Lobby. You can probably buy it at Target, I would guess, but I just always buy it at Hobby Lobby or Amazon. That's the main ingredient that makes the difference in texture. So meringue powder, powdered sugar, what else is it? I think just water. I'll read my meringue powder, vanilla, and you can actually use, I use vanilla extract. You can use like almond extract if you prefer that flavor. But yeah, so I'll put the recipe below and I'll link it in the description box. But we're gonna go ahead and make that in just a minute. Roll it. There you go, back and forth, good. Don't press too hard because you'll get it too thin. Great job, Hendrix. I'll help you now. Okay, that's good. Okay, so to make our royal frosting, first we're gonna mix in our meringue powder. So the meringue powder I use, the one I get at Hobby Lobby is just the Sunny Side Up Bakery one. So I just used, we're gonna do 3/4 cup. This is a 1/4 cup measuring cup, so I'm just gonna do, careful guys, this is like super, it's an egg white, like substitute, or no, it's kind of like egg whites, but it's in powder form. So anyways, I'm measuring it out, and it tends to kind of like go into your face, kind of dusty, but anyways. So I'm gonna mix my 3/4 of that, and then and it calls for 4 pounds of powdered sugar. So this is a 2-pound bag, so I'm gonna use 2 of these 2-pound bags, and I know it sounds like a lot, but when you mix it all together, and you add your water to it, it really does kind of shrink down. So we're gonna do 2 bags of this. And I'm gonna mix this together with just a whisk first. Get it all in there. 2 bags. Probably should have cut this.
You drank it all.
Get my scissors. Make it easier. We're gonna add all of that to our bowl. Guys, they were supposed to be helping me and I guess they gave up. All right, so okay, now we're gonna I'm gonna mix this together with my whisk.
And now I
consistency. Just mixing all this powdered sugar and meringue powder together. And then what the recipe says, when you make this frosting, you want to slowly add in 1 1/4 cups of warm water. And you mix, this is 1 cup, and then in the 1/4 cup one, I actually mix my vanilla, which it calls for 2 tablespoons of vanilla, or whatever your flavoring is. So if you want to do almond, I need to get my hair back. If you want to do almond flavor, if you want to do vanilla, if you want to do whatever the flavor is, like an orange or something, you know, any kind of flavor you want. That's my preferred flavor. So now I'm gonna mix. And you guys, I am not a baker. This is just something I started doing I watched literally a YouTube tutorial. This is only my 2nd time doing it. So any of you guys out there that actually do bake, don't critique me, please. All right, so you want to just kind of get this to a consistency that's mix it all together, and it kind of gets to like a. I'm gonna show you. It's like a things with my left hand now, but I think you can see it. It'll get really thick. And then once I get it, the consistency it's supposed to be, I'm gonna separate it. So I'll get right back to you guys. You can kind of see this is what it's looking like when you mix all that powdered sugar and water and meringue powder together. All right, so here's the tricky part. Royal icing is actually very thick. So if you're not going to be working with it right away and you're going to do it for save it for later, you can put a wet, damp paper towel over it and then put tinfoil over it and kind of just set it off to the side. I'm actually going to be working with mine right now. So what I'm going to do, sorry, my kids are screaming. So when you're making these cookies, you want there's a million different textures that you can work with, but I typically like to do just 2. So I like to do one that's a little bit thicker, and to do like your borders and your piping and your decorating, and then one that's called like a fill icing that you want it kind of like a liquidier consistency. So first I'm going to put together all of our piping consistencies. So I'm going to be working with white, pink, red, light pink, red, and dark pink. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of this into a little bowl. This is our thick frosting. Since I'm making the piping frosting, I don't want it too thick. They say to do the consistency like you would piping should be, what is it? I think like toothpaste consistency. So thick, but not like overly thick enough to where you can write with it or whatever. And then when you make your runny fill frosting, it needs to be like shampoo, like where it kind of, if you were to hold it upside down, it would kind of just slowly drip. So that's a good kind of rule of thumb for texture. I'm gonna go ahead and get my white, since I'm doing white first, and I'm gonna put my white food coloring in my, because this just isn't really white enough to me. So I just did a little bit, and I'm gonna get a fork to mix it in, and then I'm gonna actually, see if you guys can see this. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of mixing up the frosting, and I'm gonna add a tiny bit of water. Now they say to use like a spray bottle to control it, so you can really control how thick it is. But I'm gonna just go to my sink and just do a dab. So 1 second. And then you can kind of gauge. So I just did a tiny little drizzle. And sometimes when you make your frosting, it is pretty thick, so you don't it probably would work well for piping right now as it is, but if it's too thick, it's hard to squeeze out through your piping bag. So okay, I made it a little too runny. See, that's what happens when you don't have I'm just gonna add a little bit more. That's just what happens when you don't have a spray bottle. And you really don't want it to be too thick, because okay. Now I'm going to continue to do this with all of my piping frosting. So this is my thicker consistency toothpaste frosting I'm gonna put in here, and then I'll show you how I put it into the piping bags. Okay, so a little trick that I learned from this YouTuber when I'm doing the royal icing is I will take saran wrap and I'll lay it out like this. And so I'm mixing my piping frosting right now. But I'm gonna take, see if I can, okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, I've taken this, the piping frosting up, put it on this, whoops, I already did it. I put it in the center of my saran wrap, and I fold it corner to corner, and you just keep kind of twisting it. You want to just kind of twist it up tight, and that, I'll show you what we're gonna do with that, but everyone, all of your piping bags, so whatever colors you're gonna do, for your piping frosting, put it in that, and then that can easily go in your piping bag. So again, I have my red frosting. I have put it in the on the saran wrap. I'm gonna fold it across, flatten, and then I'll swirl it up again, set it to the side. I'm gonna do that with the next 3 colors that I'm doing, with a light pink and dark pink, and then I'll move on to my filler frosting, and I'm gonna put that in these bottles. So you'll see. Okay, so I'm making the my red fill frosting, and this is the one that's supposed to be the consistency of the shampoo. So see how, like, if you were to pump out shampoo, that's about the consistency it would be. I apologize for my kids. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna pour it into these. Piping bag in here, and I fed it through the coupler, and then I'm gonna cut the edge off of this and put the tip on with the coupler that ties. If that makes sense. I forgot to say what?
Welcome to my channel.
Welcome to my channel. He's already caught on to the lingo. All right, so now we are ready to decorate, guys. Here's what we have. Let's go ahead and show them, Hendrix. These aren't all of them, but these are a few of our cookies that have come out of the oven.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And then we have all of our
cookies.
We have our fill frosting, and we have our
I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
our fill and our piping frosting. So we'll start piping and decorating. Here we go. I'll show you how we start. Here's a better view of our cookies. And here's our frosting. And then this is going to be my scribe tool that I'm going to use to kind of like go through and decorate. So now this is the tricky part.
So this is the thing that makes them dry really fast.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Okay, I have Hendrix holding the camera for me. Just leave it right there. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. Right there. You got a video on this. All right, and then I'm going to pipe. This is how you start it. You pipe right along the edge. Whoop. Oh, I missed a spot. Again, you guys, I'm not a pro at this. And then what you do when you get your piping in, you take your fill icing.
Guys, can I press the button?
No, don't press it yet. Keep videoing. And then you take your fill, and you want to kind of do this. Now this fill might not be runny enough. And then after you've filled it, you kind of just spread it around. I might need to add more water. So if your fill frosting is not super runny, then you have to kind of, yeah, this is not good. This is more of a,
And she just
I'll add
making
more.
cookies.
So you can just add more. But you really want your fill frosting to be a little more runny. I think I just didn't get the right texture. Okay, then you kind of fill it in like this. Take your scribe tool and kind of go around. You really don't have too long before it starts to harden, so you really want to do that. And then what that edge was that we created was for is to help the frosting when it, if it's
done yet, Mom?
hold on, if it's runnier, it'll run right into those edges.
No.
And it gets this really pretty glossy look. Hold on, Hendrix, don't press the button yet. All right, we're almost done. So then you want to do that. Okay. So you want to do that, let it kind of fill, and I'm going to go make this frosting a little bit runnier, so it should, because it should be that when you squeeze it out,
Looks great.
like when you squeeze it, it just runs together. So I'll show you again. All right, so I've just piped this one. Now I added a little more water. Hold it back up so they can see. And you want this to be kind of runny so that it kind of spreads easily.
Oh, my hand is in the way.
My hand is? Oh, you're right. Thanks. I have my assistant holding my... Uh-oh. And then I just went over. Hold on. That's all right. So then you can kind of just move that up. Okay, and then you want to use your scribe tool. And you guys, I bought all this stuff at Hobby Lobby, and it's super easy. You just let that fill in. And I might even need to add a little more water to get it to run more. And then if you see any air bubbles, you can kind of go back in and pop the air bubbles. But we'll let that kind of dry. Hendrix, stop doing that. Don't play with it, buddy. You're supposed to, people are watching this. Nobody wants to see your finger. Okay, so see, we kind of just, you don't have long before it settles and dries, so you really want to just kind of get it as best you can pretty fast. Again, I'm not a pro at this. Okay, and then we're going to set that off to the side. And before we do any detailing or anything, you want to let that dry completely.
Now we gotta
All
do.
right, so, I'm holding it right there. So while we're on top, like, yeah. So while Hendrix is videoing this for me, there you go. Are you getting it? We're gonna do little dots of red. Or is this pink? I think, yeah, this is the red one.
Whoa.
Okay. And we're gonna do little dots of pink. Oops.
Whoa, looks good, Mom.
Thanks. And then we're gonna keep doing that, and then watch what we're gonna do after this.
What?
I'll show you. So we're gonna do, and you can put these dots wherever you want. Creative freedom.
Can I put one?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. And then you can either leave them as dots. Wait, hold it up so everyone can see, Hendrix. Like this. So you kind of let the dots, and then you can either do this.
Whoa.
And make little hearts.
Whoa. That is cool.
See how we made little hearts through it?
Can I try?
Yeah. I'll let you do the next one. I'm just doing this to show everybody. Meringue.
Yeah. That what I can do. I know you're good.
That one kind of got messed up. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. They're just for school. Oh no, it started to drip. Darn it. Oh man. Well, we messed up, but whatever. You get the idea. All right, so I'm gonna try one more to show you guys that won't mess up. And I just I outlined it with my frosting. Now I'm filling it with my fill frosting. And then I'm gonna go while it's still wet. And I'm gonna do a line of pink and a line all the way down. Hendrix, make sure you're filming this, okay?
How can you see me moving it?
Don't, please. People are gonna be watching this, okay? Try to get it good. And I can't edit, so just try to film, Hendrix.
I'm filming it.
But I want you to get above it. I'll do it. All right. I'm decorating this cookie, and I've just outlined it, and then I filled it, like I showed you guys. Now I'm trying to hold my phone and show you. But now I'm doing the lines, and I'm just gonna do, you can kind of do whatever you want, but I'm doing the pink and the purple. You can see these as they start to run out. Get a little harder, but you want it to still be wet. The trick is while the frosting is still wet, because it sets pretty quickly, but.
Are you talking to yourself?
No.
Yeah.
I'm making a video.
I'm talking to yourself.
No, I'm not. Well, right now I am. And then I just take my scribe tool and I go right down
You're
the
not
center.
talking to me, you're talking to yourself.
Go right down the center. You can also do the same technique to create little hearts like I tried to show earlier, but
You can actually
my frosting was way too runny.
You can actually make a dinosaur cookie too.
A dinosaur cookie.
Yeah.
So you just go all the way down.
If you have a dinosaur.
Then it kind of looks
If you have a dinosaur
like that. And and then we just let it
Cookie
dry.
cutter.
Set it to the side. These are some of the other ones we've made today or tonight. We're gonna continue making them.
But they're not
for
the
fun.
same ones.
So we did the little heart technique on
But
the edge
they're
of
not
that
the
one.
same ones as
Okay.
we made last time.